Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. We are back once again for Tru Heels BTR Between the Ropes with a very exclusive interview with the current NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, a part of the Guerillas of Destiny, the GOD, Hikuleo, and El Phantasmo. Thank you so much, guys, for your time. Thank you for joining us. How you guys
What
doing?
yeah, thank you for having us.
What up?
I love it.
Thank you for having us.
You guys were synchronized on that too. I loved it. It was great.
That's right.
Well, we are talking just mere weeks, mere days before Wrestle Kingdom 18 in the Tokyo Dome. You guys have one of the big matchups on the show. Winner takes all for the IWGP Tag Team Championships and your NJPW Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. I'll start with you, Hikuleo. How does it feel to have such a big matchup on the Tokyo Dome card? And this is kind of your first big championship matchup at a Wrestle Kingdom. How is that pressure you're feeling, and how's your kind of expectations going into the big matchup?
Oh yeah, it's through the roof right now. Like you said, it's my first match in general on the Wrestle Kingdom card besides the Rumble that I always had to do or
Yeah,
always got
those
to
don't
do.
count.
Yeah, but this is the actual first on the main card. Um, After that 40-minute match at the tag league final, I'm not too nervous, but I always say that, and then the day comes of the match, and that's when the butterflies start acting up. So right now I'm cool. I'm laid back. I'm at home right now, so I'm relaxing. But I know when the day comes, that's when the butterflies will act up. But I've got a great partner in ELP. Um,
I got your
so
back, baby.
you know how we do.
ELP, I wanted to ask you because you are a little bit more accustomed to the Wrestle Kingdom card. You've had matches against Hiromu Takahashi. You've had shots at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. But this feels like the biggest matchup you've had on the Tokyo Dome card. And after the year you've had, where you've really been one of the breakout stars for New Japan Pro Wrestling, how is that pressure for you, and how does it compare to the other matches you've had at Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah, well, let's see. The first Wrestle Kingdom that I did was me and Ishimori as the champs, defending against Roppongi 3K where we lost. And then COVID hit, and then I won Super J Cup, and then I wrestled Hiromu. But that was like my first match in front of people in like 9 or 10 months.
Yeah.
And that was also the first time that I had sudden death in Japan. So I was a little more focused on that than I was winning. So I didn't win that again. Then then we did that 4-way. I don't remember if we were the tag champs or not, or did we lose the belts or did we have the belts? I don't remember. But I
I feel
remember we
like
didn't win that
it
because
was
that
a
was
it
a
was the
year.
three-way with the mega coaches and
Yeah, and
Flying
Robbie and
Tigers. Yeah.
Tiger. Yeah. That's where sudden death got exposed a year later. And then the year after that, I wasn't even on the card. I just did the Rambo, which is disappointing as a wrestler to be over in Japan all year, busting your ass and working hard and not getting a match. Kind of sucks. And there's a lot of guys this year that aren't on the card that I have sympathy for just because I've been there. Just like Hikuleo hasn't been on a main card. It's there's not a lot of spots, so this year to finally have a spot where we have another like big title match. Yeah, it's huge. It's probably the biggest match that either of us have had in New Japan, and especially coming off that 40-minute banger at World Tag League Finals. It's going to be fun. We're excited. I hope we beat them before. They just beat us. I know we can beat them. They know they can beat us. Uh, yeah, we're gonna have to come in with a good game plan, but yeah, I'm excited. I think this is the first time we're gonna have the support from the people in Wrestle Kingdom. And I
Yeah.
think that's gonna add a lot to it. You don't really know how the crowd's gonna be in the token because it's so big, it's kind of almost like a delayed reaction when you're in the ring. But the ELP and God chants have never been louder than they are right now. So like I've got that goosebump, nervous excitement feeling to see what it's going to be like in the Tokyo Dome.
And you bring up like how the crowd has kind of like rallied behind the both of you. And Hikuleo, you brought up the 40-minute incredible matchup you guys had with Bishamon. People are calling it the best tag team match of the year. People are calling it the best World Tag League final that they've ever seen. Talk about kind of what's been your kind of reaction to everybody else's reaction to that matchup, and especially coming off of, like you said, it was 3 straight weeks and in Japan, away from your family, with the World Tag League, with so many matches in the tournament, and then culminating with that big 40-minute match with kind of the face of tag team wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling in Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, and you guys were the ones that the fans were behind.
I think the word I would say is relief, man. Like you said, like I said, 21 days, 18 matches. And that final match, we both just left everything in that ring or outside the ring, as I did. ELP was just fighting till the very end. Those last 15 minutes, he was in there by himself. For me, it was a relief just to be done with it, but also make it to that final spot. Man, it was such a grueling tour with little rest and just going, going, going. So for me personally, it was a relief, but satisfaction also that we made it that far, but not enough satisfaction that we didn't win it. But we have another chance at Wrestle Kingdom. That's from my perspective.
And kind
Yeah,
of
I mean, I don't think it was the path that we would have wanted. I know a lot of the fans weren't kind of happy with the path, or they were a little confused why the two champs were in the finals. Which I can see, and to not win tag league and then have them challenge to a rematch was like, it's good, but it kind of wasn't the way that we wanted it to happen. And it wasn't like, oh shit, we just beat the champs 2 times in a row. Now we're going to Wrestle Kingdom on that high, and we're gonna do it again, and we're just gonna fucking sweep them and become the double champs. And the new tag team is in town. That's not how it happened. Which, yeah, wasn't the story that we wanted. But yeah, that tour was hell, man. I mean, I don't think I've ever been more sore than I was going into that final, especially with like the neck thing from the G1 that got re-aggravated, and then 40 minutes just leaving it all on the table. But yeah, the people are in our corner so much that you can't like help but get fired up in that ring. Like, I was running on fumes, and you're trying to fire up, and then you have the 2,000 people in Kumamoto firing up for you. It really takes you to the next level, which is awesome. And I'm really excited to see what happens in the Tokyo Dome, man.
And I wanted to kind of ask you, ELP, because you kind of had this like groundswell. What I've really felt as far as the support you've been getting in Japan throughout 2023, and kind of can you kind of pinpoint the moment where you kind of felt that the fans like were really behind you? Because you kind of said it like in World Tag League with you and Hikuleo, it was like that, but on your own, you kind of had the fans on your side even before this team really got cooking, like the second half of 2023. So
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
tell me like where do you remember kind of feeling like the fans were on your side?
It was I do remember the one match that we kind of had to change plans, because me and Kenta and Ishimori were getting uh, a lot of cheers from the Japanese people in Bullet Club, and we were kind of embracing them and having fun. And me and Kenta were both kind of goofballs, and the people loved playing with us, and we were playing with them, and they'd have the double-sided signs. And we kept building on that, and I would hype up Kenta and he would hype me up, and Ishimori's just being cute. But it was the New Japan Cup against Naito in Korakuen Hall, where the ELP chants were as loud, or if not more, than the Naito chants. And that was the first time I was like, I've been feeling the people of like wanting to cheer me. We've been in Bullet Club. The Bullet Club's not really good guys, but they're giving us a lot of support. But when it was just ELP and Naito in the New Japan Cup in the opening round, we kind of like got backstage, and I was like, "Did you guys notice that?" And the guys were like, "Yeah, like that was a Korakuen crowd cheering for ELP over Naito, who is the most over person in New Japan." And then from there, it was again, Saka against Tama. We had the place rumbling, the G1, Ospreay had the place rumbling, and Ryogoku, and it's just kind of spiraled from there. And the whole with David Finlay, that threw a lot of like wrench into the plans, and I'm kind of glad that they kicked me out because if I would have stayed in Bullet Club, I don't think this organically cheer and from the people would have happened. So I kind of thank them.
Yeah,
As much as it hurt to get kicked in the balls by my best friend, but
if so, when I wrestled Naito, can you hear me?
Yeah.
When I wrestled Naito back in G1, right, it felt like if you ever played sports, it felt like an away game because that's all you hear is Naito's name the entire match. I didn't hear my name called out once. Now it's with ELP. That's the only name I hear. It's crazy how loud his name is being chanted when we come out. I love it because I'm like, hey, I'll ride that tailcoat any day. So just like if you guys ever can raise the volume on New Japan World that ELP doesn't like, or if you come out to Japan for a Wrestle Kingdom, it's crazy how loud people chant ELP's name and how I don't think people understand how like over he is. Like, man, it's crazy. You get God chants, but then you just get the ELP constantly from women, from girls, like the high pitch, even the men too. Like ELP, man. You look at it like, yeah, all right, well, it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Like talking about ELP 2023, you've had kind of really a transformative 2023. I feel like you've been one of the most improved players for New Japan Pro Wrestling throughout 2023. And kind of to go over and reflect on your 2023, starting with that big matchup with Jay White, beating him, forcing him out of Japan, and then following that up, winning the Strong Openweight Championship, and then ending the year as Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships. It just felt like, there maybe was a low because we kind of didn't see you for a while after the Jay White matchup, but you've been going from high to high ever since coming back after that. So kind of reflecting throughout your 2023, how's it been for you to kind of look back on it?
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. But yeah, man, it's been a great 2023 to be able to work with all these top talents, man. You start off with Jay for the year. You got to remember too, we were under Jay's leadership for how many years, and you can't help but take some things from him that you learn from him that you get from working with him alongside him in tag matches, and it just rubs off on you, hopefully in a positive way inside the ring, and then you move on to, like you said, the Strong open weight against Kenta, a legend like Kenta. There's no choice but to learn from him too as well and grow from him, and you're just working these high level talents that you weren't working before. Not that everyone isn't, but these are like names in the industry, these are champions and whatnot. And then you go in the G1 and you have countless matches against greats, Sanada, Naito, all the new generation guys. You have no choice but to keep elevating your game. And now I'm teaming with arguably one of the best wrestlers in the business right now in ELP, and I have no choice but to elevate my game. I have to in order to keep up with him and keep.
yeah, but dude, you've won more than I have this year. That's why you're in front of me on all the fucking graphics, dude. You've accomplished more than I have. And I said it in the interview or the fucking Elv press conference thing, but like Hikuleo is a young lion just as much as Shota and Suji and Yuya. Like they're all in the same class, but he's lapped them so quickly that people don't even second guess that he is at the same like level as those guys are, because they all get kind of clumped in together as being the next musketeers, but he's just as much a musketeer as those guys are, but he's already accomplished like more than they have and more than I have, that he's not even perceived as a young boy, which is crazy. Is how fast he's found success in New Japan, which it's taken me 4 years and I still haven't had the success he has in like the 1 year that he's been here. So yeah.
I appreciate you, homeboy.
Because you had such a unique journey also, starting off in the dojo, and then you didn't have like the traditional kind of going on excursion. Because like I remember like the first time I saw you, you were part of Bullet Club basically. So it's strange that you're right, ELP, that people don't group him in with the people that he kind of came up with because he's kind of been a part of the roster for so long. Kind of how do you feel about kind of like why that is that you're not grouped in with those guys and you're kind of just grouped in with the guys that are kind of been a lot more experienced than you, but you kind of just fit in nicely with them?
I think from the get go, they were trying to try something different from other big men like Fale. Instead of making me go the traditional young boy route, they're like, my brother's already in there. Why keep him from not joining Bullet Club? Just throw him in there. And, I wasn't going to do the young boy traditional stuff, which at times I wish I did just to learn the basics even better to ground it. If you look at someone like Oscar right now, he's doing amazing right now. He's doing such a great job as a big guy in the young lion suit. And that's something I sometimes wish I did, but at the same time, I'm glad I didn't because I think you learn a little bit faster with older guys in that perspective.
Definitely agree with that. And you guys brought up, you get the chance of GOD and you guys are a part of Guerillas of Destiny, which you guys are kind of the big part of why it's become one of the more popular stables in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But I wanted to ask you guys, because you guys are really different from the other members of the GOD, where a lot of people in, here in North America might view the GLD as kind of like an offshoot of the Bullet Club because so many of you are former Bullet Club members, but guys like Jado, guys like Tamatonga, guys like Tongaloa were kicked out of the Bullet Club by a Jay White or Evil. You guys, on the other hand, had different people that either kicked you out or that you went against. Hikuleo, you chose to go away from the Bullet Club and choosing your family over the Bullet Club, while you, ELP, were taken out by David Finlay. So you don't have the same type of kind of maybe animosity that the other members of the GOD might have to Jay White, the previous leader in Japan. So how do you feel about that kind of your place in the GOD and how you're different from the other people in the group? I'll start with you, ALP.
Yeah, I think we all kind of got different stories about Bullet Club and how we got in and out. And, you know, it's not a lie when they say it's Bullet Club for life. Like that's something that you can never take away from us. And, you know, when the New Japan first came to me with an offer, I also had an offer with AEW. And I was like, do I choose New Japan or do I choose AEW? And I was like, well, what do you guys want me to do in AEW? And they didn't know. And then New Japan was like, oh, well, we want you in Bullet Club, like the biggest faction in the world, basically in wrestling. And, that's a no brainer that I went from a nobody in England to a guy in Bullet Club where everyone was like, what? How did this happen? So that I love, but, I did my own thing. These guys did their own thing. The Guerillas of Destiny are always over with Tama and T. They have such a presence of what they do, but I think we also have a presence that's different from them, but we all kind of complement each other in a way, like we've all been kind of having to figure out how to act more as fan favorites as we've kind of like made our names known as being troublemakers and trolls and dickheads and stuff. But the way Thomas connected with the people, the way I've connected with the people, the way they loved seeing his big ass fucking chop people, like you know, Jado gets huge every time I fucking Jado gets huge pops fucking more than we do, like yeah, I forget what the question was.
Well, just your place within Guerrillas of Destiny, being that the other members kicked out of Bullet Club. You guys, the other members were kicked out of Bullet Club by Jay White, really, and you were kicked out by David Finlay this past year. While Hikuleo, you're the only one that made the choice to kind of leave the Bullet Club. So, how do you kind of feel your place in Guerrillas of Destiny is a little bit different from the other members because of that?
Yeah, got me feeling some type of way. I feel like kind of a spoiled brat that just you got to choose. The other one got jumped.
I'm from New York, yo. It's gang. I lived with a Crip at one point, so I'm
Oh
just saying.
shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. It's kind of the same way too, but with me, I had my brothers there already, and so it was kind of just like a time game of when I was gonna go over to God. I was learning everything I could from Jay, and I did, and then finally made the jump over. Um, Something I did notice was that it took me forever to get out of that Bullet Club mindset. Um, I think if you notice something right off the bat with ELP, he had that connection with the fans right away. But in my head, even when in God, from was it February up until maybe October, I really didn't grasp or embrace the fans as much. I wasn't giving them the attention that I do now, learning from ELP. It was just more of like that Bullet Club mindset of like, let's go in there, let's get this W and tear shit up while we're in there and smile while we do it and then go. But now that with ELP, it's just, it's fan service. It's you're embracing the fans that supporting you, who supported you either when you got jumped or when you switched over to God, choosing the good side, choosing the light. And so that's been one aspect that's been a huge difference uh, within this year itself. Just that embracing the fans and trying to get rid of that Bullet Club mindset in a way. Still, even after a certain amount of years.
And you guys have done great with like embracing the fans. I love seeing you guys like take pictures with the kids with the title belt after your matches. You guys have done a splendid job of just creating that connection with the fans out there, and I just love to see it.
Yeah, that comes naturally, man. No one's telling us to do that. That's just us in the moment, paying respect back to the fans because during COVID, for those 3 years, like it sucked to wrestle in front of clap crowds, but those fans had to clap for 3 hours straight and they had to pay money to fucking not cheer and boo at a wrestling show, and they couldn't drink at the arenas, and because they couldn't sit beside their friends, and they kept New Japan alive, like for real. Like if they didn't come to the shows, New Japan probably would have folded. And just the fact that it went on for so fucking long in Japan that we were all over it, and I know the fans were over it. That like once the rules got lifted, or like we could finally start acknowledging the fans, I was like, hey, you guys deserve the love because like, have you tried clapping for 3 hours? Like it fucking sucks. Like we wrestle for 10 minutes. Clapping hurts. So like the fans deserve love, and the Japanese culture is so different from the Western culture that we're kind of treating them like Western fans and jumping into the crowd with them and taking group photos and letting them hold the belts. Like they don't ever get to do that. So they love it and I love it. And they're so nice and respectful. And our fan sightings are fucking sold out, and everyone's just so polite and happy to meet us. And there's no dickheads. And dude, I love wrestling in Japan.
It seems like the best. I gotta get out there at least once. Y'all making me get that urge even more. I just have a couple of more questions for you guys. Hikuleo, I wanted to ask you because recently in an interview you did confirm that you did have talks with WWE earlier this year. So I had one of our guys in Tru Heel, he asked me if those talks were actually serious, and how do you look back on them, and do you think that your decision to stay with New Japan paid off for you?
Yeah, they were serious. Yeah, it was serious, but it was just kind of hit and miss as well. Communication just kind of died out. Um, it was like the whole Vince thing that came about when he came back into power, and they had like a hiring freeze. I think that was pretty well known, and so it just dropped. But honestly, I felt like I hadn't done enough in New Japan. I feel like guys that come to New Japan, that come to the dojo, who put so much time in, there's just more you got to do. I feel like nothing is completed yet. Nothing was completed yet back then, even now. So yeah, there was talks, but in the back of my head, I was just like, it wasn't time yet. I wasn't ready. Nowhere near ready. And yeah, plus two, just that loyalty. Japan's big on the loyalty, the trust that you built there. For them to put in trust in me to bring me in, giant green beanstalk that had barely or had no wrestling experience, and just to throw me in there, like you said, like we talked about earlier, Bullet Club. I had to come in and replace Kenny Omega. Like, if you remember that, he got injured
Yeah.
and they threw me in, what, 8 months into my training in the dojo, to put that much trust in me. It'll take a lot just to get me out of the system. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that.
Well, thank you for sharing
Who
that.
wouldn't who wouldn't want a 6'6" tall, beautiful brown guy like him, man? Every wrestling company would want him.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if everybody be calling after this interview. But yeah. But what I wanted to ask you one big question to the both of you, because like we've been talking about, is that your connection with the fans is undeniable, and you've kind of been climbing the ladder at a rapid pace, and both of you being gaijin stars is a very important time for New Japan Pro Wrestling every single time before a Wrestle Kingdom. But also, we already know the news. It's been announced that Will Ospreay is on his way to finishing up with New Japan Pro Wrestling, on his way to AEW. And do you guys feel that you are in the position to fill a void that Will Ospreay will inevitably give to New Japan Pro Wrestling coming up in 2024? I'll start with you, ELP.
I mean, you'd be lying if anyone said they didn't want that spot. I've heard multiple times that New Japan should strap the Rocket to ELP and he's the next foreign ace. And I've heard that many times, but every time that I think that's going to happen, I fail and I lose and I don't ascend to that next level. And either that's on my fault or that's the company's fault, or who knows why that happens. But yeah, what's happening right now is organic. You can't book it to have guys like us get as over as we did. And right now we're doing it our way. We're not getting help. We're getting over. We're winning our matches. We're finishing first in tag league. It was disappointing not to win the finals, but we're still going to Wrestle Kingdom. But we have a huge moment that could happen at Wrestle Kingdom. Like this could be the moment that ELP and Hikuleo get to the next level and become the next top guys in New Japan as top babyface foreigners, or we could lose to the most dominant tag team in New Japan, or even like in wrestling today. I think Bishamon is for sure in contention for being one of the best tag teams in the world. And then when contract season's January 31st, you got to kind of assess whether you're needed here or you're needed elsewhere, or you want to start from scratch elsewhere. And there's lots of factors that come into play. But I think we're both on the same page that we want to stay in New Japan, and we both believe we could get up there. Whether we do or not, we'll have to find out January 4th, I guess.
Indeed. Hikuleo, what about you?
Yeah, basically just hopping on what he said. It's all organic. You can't force it at the end of the day. But I think ELP has the biggest chance. And if you just hear the crowds how they react to him, we'll see how January plays out. We'll see how things work out, if we win or not, and then from there, that the story will continue from there. And I think it's wrestling. You got to see what's going to happen. Of course, there's going to be a big void there, but I think there's enough players on the roster to fill it. And I think you have the biggest player right now you're talking to in ELP. So we'll see how January plays out.
I mean, he's been hearing people saying that ELP is the next foreign ace. I hope I've been loud enough, and I hope you've been hearing my voice saying that, because I've been saying that for about 4 years now. I actually was at the British J Cup in 2019, my first time in the UK, and that was my first time kind of seeing you live. And I was with my missus, who was pregnant at the time, with my two 3-year-old twins, and she was like, you were her favorite from that night. So ever
Uh,
since then, I've been on this channel bigging you up. So I want to thank you for coming on the channel, being on here, and just know that Tru Heel Heat is one of your big supporters of ELP, next foreign ace, and Guerillas of Destiny, next IWGP Tag Team Champions, as well as still New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champs.
Hell yeah,
That's
brother.
right.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Dude, that's so funny that everyone's missus is ELP fans. Like the Keeping It Strong style guys, missus was a big ELP fan. Your missus is a big ELP fan. The We Work Stiff dude, his old lady's a big ELP fan. It's funny
You
how that works.
actually got her to buy your T-shirt for me.
Oh, no way.
We were taking pictures at the meet and greet, and you were just talking. I think you were next to Hikuleo. Like I don't know if Hikuleo was on that show. I believe it was someone from Bullet Club was next to you, and you were just talk trash to her, and got her to buy the T-shirt for me. It was the
Oh,
I think it's like the graffiti one with like the blue and the pink with
oh,
your
nice.
face on it. Yeah, I remember that
Hell,
much.
hell yeah. Dude, he's got to commit to the bit, whether you're a good guy or bad guy. You just got to do it. Dude, it was like when we're bad guys in Bullet Club in Japan, we'd be fingering fans on the way out of the bus and fucking at the arena. And now we're giving them the little fucking hearts. You know, you got to commit to the bit, man.
Absolutely. But thank you so much, guys, for your time. I'll start with you, Hikuleo. Please let the people know where they can find you on social media. Of course, get in New Japan World ahead of Wrestle Kingdom, and to leave people with a little bit of a Wrestle Kingdom kind of get them excited. Name one match outside of your own that you're looking forward to on January 4th.
Oh shit. Probably just towards the main event, Sonata and Naito. Looking forward to that. You know, they got a lot of history. I don't know if you guys seen that video clip that New Japan
Yes.
posted. Oh man, from their days in the trial. What do you call that? The trial thing.
Yeah.
The tryouts. When
Ciao.
they did that at the
Yeah, that was
Korakuen
cool,
Hall.
man.
Man,
That was.
yeah, that's it built. I was like, oh, now I want to watch it. Shit. Oh man, but yeah, that's the match I'm looking forward to. We are looking forward to becoming the 100th IWGP Tag Team Champions. If you want to find me, everything is under HIKU_LEO. Or if you want to see my Patreon, patreon.com/Hikusub. Hey.
ELP, please let the people know where they can follow you.
At ELP Wrestling, because I'm not the musician or the rapper. I am the ELP in wrestling. So it's very simple, very basic.
Hey,
Only on Twitter and Instagram. But
the only
yeah,
ELP
you
that
want it.
matters.
The only ELP that matters. Yeah. But if you want to see some cool backstage stuff, subscribe to his Patreon. I pop in there a lot. We get to do some fun stuff. He's got some sweet cameras and cool POVs and drone shots and all sorts of stuff. And we even do meetups once in a while. I think we might be doing one this Wrestle Kingdom. That
Yeah.
if you're in Tokyo for Wrestle Kingdom, hop on Hiku's Hub and we're going to arrange a little get together with everybody. So stay tuned for that.
Check out all of that. Get your New Japan World and check out Wrestle Kingdom 18 on January 4th. This has been Tru Heels BTR Between the Ropes with the Guerillas of Destiny, El Phantasmo, and Hikuleo. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3, signing off until next time.